Steve. Thank you so much. All right, for most Americans, it is tax deadline day, but an estimated 50 million of us have yet to file.
So what to do if you're one of those procrastinators? Joining us to give us some last-minute tips is CPA Gene Marks. Thanks so much for your time. Speaking of time, lots of people, about 50 million, running out of time. What do they do?
Yeah, what's going on? 50 million haven't filed their taxes. There's actually a reason for that, guys. I mean, as we know, in the 2017 tax reform, there was a lot of changes made. So a lot of people are still trying to get their arms around what they are, including a lot of CPAs like me. So if you haven't filed your tax returns yet, you got to do it. My recommendation is to file an extension today. It's Form 4868. That's the name of the form you want to do. And you got to estimate how much taxes you owed for 2018. Got to get that in. It gives you 6 months of leeway just to fill out the rest of the forms and get them filed with the IRS. So get an extension filed today, mail it in with your payment, and you'll be good for another 6 months to get your forms done. Nothing
more American than not wanting to pay your taxes, in my opinion.
Procrastination is the American way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody hates this day. All right. About 80 or 90% of Americans got a tax cut back in 2017. I read earlier this morning that only about 17% of Americans believe that they actually got a tax cut. The narrative from a lot of Democrats has been that this was all a tax scam. Most people did get a tax cut.
Yeah.
What exactly happened there?
Yeah, so I can talk to you about this from the point of a CPA. Most of us as accountants, let alone at the average taxpayer, we're still trying to figure out what taxes were for last year. You just said 50 million people haven't even filed their tax returns yet. So I don't think that all the data is in. And the biggest reason why people don't think they got enough of a refund, guys, is they probably had more withheld during the year. Their tax rates changed during the year. Their W-4 forms were not updated. And look, you don't want a refund. You don't want to owe taxes either. The bigger the refund that you get from the government means the more money that you gave the government that they were sitting on during the year. So when people complain to me that they got lower refund, I always say, well, look at the taxes that you paid last year. It's likely lower, and good, keep your money. You don't want that big refund coming in.
Kind of nice to get it, though, lump sum if you get a refund. Let's talk about what you can do.
It's a psychological thing.
Right. Let's talk about what you can do right now to help yourself for next year's taxes, because you got to start working on it now.
Right. So let me give you a few tips, okay? You want to save money for 2019. So number one, revise your W-4 form. We just talked about this. You are probably withholding too much money, maybe a little too little. Get your W-4 form from your employer. Go through it again. Make sure that you're withholding the right amounts. That's number one. Number two, put money away in retirement plans, guys. I mean, it is the best savings that you can do. You put money away pre-tax. If your employer has a 401k plan, you could put away like $18,000. If you've got an IRA, put money into an IRA as well. Pre-tax, retirement plan savings is really big stuff. Let me give you another tip. 529 plans are really huge. I don't know if you guys have that, but you can put money away after tax, but then it grows tax-free for as long as you want, and then you could take the money out without any penalties as long as you're using it for higher education, for private school tuition, for religious school tuition. 529 plans have been like a huge thing for a lot of my clients. Very, very popular this year and a great tax incentive way to save for college over the years. So those are 3 tips right off the top of my head.
Okay, and you say it's not a good idea, because I think a lot of people argue that, getting it all back, in the refund is kind of a nice way of a forced savings account. It makes you kind of save some money. You say that's not a smart thing to do.
No, it's not, because you're putting the money away with the government, and you're not earning any interest on it, right? Yeah. So it's nice to have some money like in your pocket, and then you can put the money, if you want, in a bank, or at least earn some interest on it. One final thing before I go. In 2019, a lot of people aren't aware of some of the education credits that are out there, too. There's the lifetime learning credit and the education credit that you can apply for not only this year, but years afterwards. You can get a couple $1,000s credit on the taxes that you owe for any higher education expenses that you're paying.
Yeah, I love that.
Marks, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Take care.
Okay. So, after almost 600 days, Game of Thrones is back.
I don't know how to ride a dragon.
Nobody does, until they ride a dragon.
What if he doesn't want me to?
Then I've enjoyed your company, Jon Snow.
And social media lighting up as HBO's fantasy drama starts its 8th and its final season.
Hillary tweeting, quote, "I have absolutely no faith in any internet medium not to spoil Game of Thrones somehow before I see it."
Nelson writing, only thing on my bucket list now, ride a dragon.
And Kathy tweets, I've waited 595 days to see last night's episode, but now I don't think I can wait a week to see the next one.
Yeah.
Neither of us have seen even one.
I'm going to start. I really am.
That makes one of us.
Okay.
53 minutes after the hour, one police department under fire for putting American flag stickers on patrol cars. Why critics say it is too aggressive.
And talk about taking one for the team. The manager hit in the neck by, ooh, foul ball right to the neck. He's fine, didn't even flinch. Stay tuned.
So in this commercial,